Hey everyone, Poindexter here, and today begins our third week of combat operations in August 1942. We're going to give the airfields a break this week and go after a different type of target. So, let's get started. First, we go to the calendar and move the date to week 3. This calendar movement is actually supposed to be done at the end of a week, but I do it at the beginning for strictly narrative purposes. The 93rd Group has rested for a week after harrowing losses from flak on their first mission. We remove 3 damage points for a -2, which brings their stats back into the OK range once again. And they're ready for an anti-submarine mission, which will take place later. Next, we'll add our 15 weekly SO points to our original 7, which gives us a total of 22. But those U-boats are still out there, so we'll subtract 9 points, which will give us a final total of 13. While it's tempting to purchase another B-17 group, we're going to need these points for something different: purchasing bombs. Because today, we're going to be bombing an aircraft factory, specifically Aircraft Factory 8 in Antwerp, Belgium. M30 bombs, with their high to-hit values, are not the best for this type of target, so we're going to need better bombs. But first, we'll assign our groups to the mission. The target allows a maximum of 3 bombers, so we're going to choose the 305th, the 91st, and the 97th, and we'll take the 4th Fighter Group as escort. This will be our only mission for this week, and it's going to be a maximum effort. Before we arm our bombers, let's take a look at our bomb options. We're familiar with the M30, its effectiveness on dispersed targets, and its free cost, but otherwise this bomb's base value is hard to hit, which limits its usefulness on all but certain types of targets. The M43 is a larger bomb, which costs 1 SO point. It has the same weight as the M30, but its to-hit values are much better. The M44 is larger still, which is reflected in its weight rating of 3. Looking at the to-hit numbers, the M44 is slightly better than the M43, but it's capable of causing much greater damage, up to 3 hits. The M34 is the largest, most expensive, and potentially deadliest bomb in the arsenal. Due to its weight, B-17s can only carry 1 of these bombs, and B-24s 2. They have the potential to cause 4 hits on a target, one of only 2 bombs in the game to do so. Now there is another type of bomb that we're going to use against our target factory today, one that has some special abilities. Looking at the factory, we notice it has an incendiary trait. This means that this particular target is susceptible to damage from incendiary bombs. In this case, the M50A1. Like the M30, it costs no SO points and has a weight of 2. If an incendiary bomb successfully hits a target with the incendiary trait, it could potentially cause further damage after the bombing mission. For this target, if an incendiary bomb hits, we roll 1 dice after the bombing run. If the number is 6 or greater, but less than 9, we increase the damage level by 1. For example, from medium damage to heavy damage. If the roll is 9 or higher, we increase the damage level by 2. For example, from medium damage to destroyed. As you can see, incendiaries can be devastating if they hit. So, we're going to spend all of our 13 SO points on bombs. We'll purchase 3 M43s, and 5 M44s. We're going to load the M44s on our bombers with the weaker air-to-ground stats to give them better odds of hitting the target. Of course, we're going to give the 305th 2 of the best bombs, because it's clear they need all the help they can get. And we'll give the 97th, the group with the +1 air-to-ground stats, 2 M43s and the critical incendiary bomb. And we'll give the 91st 2 M44s. With the target having a +2 air-to-ground modifier, we stand a good chance of destroying this target in one mission. We'll place our group counters on the tactical map in the order we want them to fly to the target, with the Spitfires flying high escort, and we'll place our markers on the strategic map. We roll for the Luftwaffe response, and we roll a 7, modified to a 5. A poor response, but just barely. Our bombers form up and head to Belgium. We draw an event card, and it is Luftwaffe unprepared. We are to reduce the response level by 1, but the level is already at poor, so we ignore the event. Soon our bombers arrive over the target and prepare their runs. First up is the much maligned 305th group. We could play LeMay's evasion tactic here, but it would add another -1 to the 305th air-to-ground stats, and I don't want to make the dice rolls any worse. The target throws up a flak barrage, 2 dice rolls that hit on a 6 or greater. And we roll a 1 and 9, modified to 0 and 8, and the 305th takes 3 hits. They will be bombing with -1 air-to-ground stats. We add +2 for the target's air-to-ground modifier for a final result of +1. From now on, I'll only be showing the bomb hit's final modified die roll numbers in order to save a bit of time. The 305th calls bombs away. And every bomb strikes home, with a total of 6 hits. Next is the 91st group. After the 305th's devastating attack, we only need 5 points of damage to destroy the target. We roll for flak attacks, and we roll a 3 and 7, modified to a 2 and 6. The 2 misses, but the 6 causes 1 point of damage to the 91st. The 91st will attack with the same stat as the 305th, with a +1 modifier. The B-17s salvo their bombs. The M44s hit with 4 points of damage, which brings the total damage to 10. The 97th group brings up the rear and will drop her bombs on the smoldering factory. We roll 2 dice for flak, and we roll a 1 and 4, modified to a 0 and 3, which causes no hits to the group. The 97th bombs with a +1, and we add +2 for the target, with a final modification of +3. The incendiary bomb will hit on a modified 7. The 97th drops her bomb load. One bomb misses, but the other hits for 2 points of damage. The incendiary bomb also misses on a modified 5, but fortunately it was not needed this time. With 12 points of damage, the factory is destroyed. We gain 2 victory points for the destruction of the factory, and the Germans lose 2 supply points, which we remove from the aircraft factory monthly output. As a result, 2 less Luftwaffe squadrons will be drawn next month. We also place a build marker on the next month as a reminder to draw a new factory target. The groups turn and head for home, and we draw an event card. We draw Commander Killed check. The 305th and the 91st took damage, so we will have to roll for their commander's survival after the mission is over. Our groups make it home safely, and we will roll for the commander's survival. If we roll a 9 or 10, the commander will be killed, and he will be removed from the game. We roll a 2 for LeMay and a 1 for Ray. Both commanders remain alive and well. Figuring up the experience points gained from this mission, we see that with the 2 experience points gained from successfully destroying the factory, 3 groups have been promoted: the 4th Fighter Group, the 91st Bomb Group, and the 305th. We also add 2 more victory points, for a total of 5. The 305th is promoted to green status, and the 4th Fighter Group and the 91st Group are both promoted to average. Because of Commander Ray's trait, the 4 points normally needed for the next promotion are adjusted to 2 instead. Congratulations, men. Our last mission of the week will be an anti-submarine mission. Our B-24 group has rested and is ready for action. For this mission, there is no flight path that needs to be marked on the strategic map. We simply roll 1 dice for each U-boat. If the result is a modified 7 or greater, the U-boat is destroyed. Our group will receive 1 experience point for the mission and 1 point for every U-boat destroyed. The 93rd has a -1 air-to-ground modifier, so we'll need to roll an 8 or higher to hit. We roll 3 dice, and we roll a 6, 2, and 9. The 9 is a hit, and 1 U-boat is destroyed. Since we didn't attack Airfield 14 this week, we'll need to roll for repair. If we roll a 6 or higher, the airfield will be repaired up 1 level, in this case from the current light damage to undamaged. And we roll a 5, and the light damage remains on the airfield. In keeping with the game rules, we'll go ahead and move the week marker ahead to week 4. And our missions for the 3rd week of August are complete. That wraps up another week of missions. Next time, we'll begin our final week of August and perform our end-of-the-month steps. We'll also be flying one of the most challenging missions yet, because this time we'll be flying right into an area covered by the Luftwaffe. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk again soon.